this architecturally significant requirements should be done as a collaborative exercise rather than an individual exercise, right? And I'm actually even more open to the idea of not classifying stuff, right? Because and under optimizing stuff, right? Because by the time you come down to the person who's writing the code, the whole thing is so optimized that he just has to focus on one thing and just write that, and that one particular thing once runs very optimally, right? But the whole chain of thought which was originally brought in, which brought this optimization, is causing your system to, what my favorite word is, become fragile, right? So it needs to, the architecturally significant requirements have to be good enough for the engineers and the architects who are actually the software architects, who look at it and say, how do I not make this system which is so optimized that small changes will break it.
So imagine like a campus, a campus of architecture. Within that, I have different smaller buildings. I have a business architecture building, solution architecture building, information architecture building, infrastructure architecture building. And there is one architect in charge of each building. Okay. And all the guys have to keep visiting each other buildings of each other and start collecting this. So I think ASRs, again, it is something like the enterprise architect would have a particular statement about an ASR. Now the business architect has to take that and derive a business architecture specific ASR. The infrastructure architect will derive a infrastructure point of view of that ASR. Then he gives it to the infrastructure technical expert, probably a guy who's very good in making VMs, or let's say there is somebody who's good in DevOps, for example. So they can actually say we need to have scalability, right? So in order to do that, replicability to be easy. So that's pretty important. An interesting question here, a quick poll. In your life, right, who's the first architect? This is my opinion, okay? So basically it's just a luck whether you can get it. Who's the first architect you have experienced in your life? Quick question for all of you.
Of course, it's going to be your mother, right?
My parents, yeah. It's about to say that.
more than anybody, your mother is your architect.
Siddharth, do you agree, disagree?
I pretty much agree, but I think it's more of a school teacher, because your teacher is always right, no matter. Parents sometimes, they tell you things, they tell you the right thing, but then, you always defend it, saying that, my teacher told me that, and teacher is going to...
Okay. So my again, it's just an opinion, right? I would be with Deepak, and why I kind of call is, typically, at least in our Indian household, it's the mom who owns the large picture, right? And in a way, in a traditional sense, they really don't have too much of authority. Technically, it's always with, not that it's great, but then it's with the father of the house or the male of the house. But then they are in charge for the success of the solution. So they kind of get these different people together, make them work, get what is the overall thing that's needed. So an architect's role is something like that. I would call him as a glorified broker, right? Who has to get things together, make people agree and make things work, right?
Our project manager, who she actually was putting it on her notification. She says, what is a PM? Is a project manager? I think it is a project mother, right? So the PM is a project mother now, actually. So we call her the project mother now.
Interesting. So Vincent, what's your...
From in my previous client engagement, we used to keep, they used to tell us, hey, think a requirement, a non-system agnostic perspective, right? Don't think about the solution, right? Think about the business requirement. So let the solution come at a later point. But at some time when we gather the requirements, we also solutionize the requirements. Hey, this cannot be done, So that's been, it's very difficult, journey. On one side, they will be giving us requirements. On one side, we'll say, this cannot be upfront, delivered. So that's been my experience. Long story short, yeah, we work within a framework And
Actually,
with
what
this
you
those
bait
kind of
out is what we call as an anti-fractal, right? In our hypergraph framework. Now, anti-fractal is like your anti-pattern. It is, it's opposite of best practice, which we keep doing often. Like, for example, right? Me not pressing the record button is an anti-fractal. Okay. So, and so many times it has happened. This is not the first time, even after having known this, right? So one of the things is like, probably, I don't know whether it's got to do with our culture historically, right? This is where architecture gets a little interesting, and we've been used to taking orders and work within a scope, right? And somehow we've been trained. Now, if you go into school, like Siddhama just said that, right? What teacher says is gospel. We don't question the teacher. Now, we've been trained to work with the boundary, right? It's like that analogy of that elephant tied to a pole, right? As a kid, it is tied. When it grows up, it really doesn't try to break it. And also working within a services company, it's become even more harder. We have been trained over things to whatever the SOW says, right? The moment you start asking a question, somebody in the room will say, is it within the SOW? If not, let's not digress. Okay. So I think as architects, it's, at least if we have this ASR, I think probably the thing would be what Deepak just said, right? Can I talk to the enterprise architect? Okay. Can I talk to the business architect? Can I talk to the VP operations to understand why this project came about, right? What's the overall goal? If I can't talk to them, it's okay. Just give me a roadmap of the business. I think we can ask that sticking within the scope of the project. So interestingly, I've seen sometimes asking this question, right? And as architects, especially in services company, we have a challenge. We are not exposed to the business. We are not exposed to key stakeholders, and we are trying to get a foot in the door to increase our influence. Okay. And there is always some priest in the middle, and that priest will be either our client partner, or it would be a IT manager on their side, or that one manager retail, okay, who will never let us get past them. He'll say, I'll tell you what is needed. So, and asking an ASR specific questions exposes that they don't know that. Then they are kind of forced to expose us to the larger thing, and they kind of think, oh, I didn't think of that. So that's one thing which can actually help, right? If not anything else, asking a question can itself open up a door, new doors.
And that should come in very early in the stage, right? You cannot be asking questions late in the game, right? So these should happen pretty early in the game. Anything you need to revise and fix it, it should happen, much ahead in the game, right?
This is where I disagree with Vincent.
Okay.
Because you see, you heard this statement, right? There are known knowns and there are known unknowns and there are unknown unknowns, right? So means, although it sounds very illogical to even hear that statement, right? But the asking of questions, because although we have been doing this agile thing for a very long time and all these things, but what is this whole concept of once the requirement is frozen, it is frozen. And now, although we are doing this agile thing, nobody can just go back upstairs, right? Because now it is all waterfall down, although we are doing this agile thing, but we can never go back up. Right.
So agile doesn't apply for the architecture, right?
Yeah. So that's my question. Is why? There is no logical reason for it not to be agile. Why does an architecture be agile?
Right? I think it should be.
It should be agile, right? So that's my question to you, architects. This is why do you have to say, okay, this is it and nothing more, and nobody can add a sentence or remove a sentence, and you just go with it? Why not?
I think good question, Deepak. I think when we talk about agile architectures, I think probably that's what makes it develop from agile development, right? Where the base principle could somehow be challenged down the line. And I think, Vincent, it's also like, it's a little bit of a challenge, right? Only when we do an MVP, we hit some problems. And then the question comes up, right? And if I could ask all the ASR questions at the beginning, I will be God.
Yeah. I mean, I want to ask this question when you were talking about the constraints, right? I'm just connecting, the conversation that we're having here to the constraints that you mentioned some time back. So I just want to understand, what are those constraints? Are we trying to have a list? Hey, something which we cannot deliver is covered as part of those constraints? Is it where the constraints are used? I'm just trying to connect
Okay.
this moment to constraints.
So let me give one specific example. So there is a SharePoint implementation I was doing many years ago for one of the popular banks. Okay. And China being China, okay, that bank's China implementation will not agree to the authentication which works for the rest of the world. Okay. So I was working at a very low level. What I mean is, well, low level means in the larger scheme of things, in a particular SharePoint implementation, there is one instance of SharePoint. Within that SharePoint instance, there is one particular business team implementing a solution. My scope is to design a solution for that. So you can understand the hierarchy. Okay. Now, when I was going to implement this and we rolled out the first version, I realized that the default integrated Windows authentication, right, will not work in China because they refuse to accept that. They did not, the Chinese network had a different authentication. They did not follow Windows authentication. So interestingly, if I had captured that as a constraint, telling that there will be geographies which will not follow integrated Windows authentication, I could have done a better solution. But I had missed capturing that constraint. So 2 months into the project, when we were trying to do a rollout to China, bottom of the iceberg happened. Okay. So that's a classical example. Now, it is not a requirement, right? The requirement actually says, when I get into a project, it says I was working with something called retail banking. And within retail banking, how can loans be disbursed? So that was the business unit. So the solution was around that. So the time that I had actually spent, the requirements were around what is the metadata. I mean, you're familiar with data architecture, right? What's the information architecture? What is the documents that you have? What is the taxonomy? I got stuck into that. I was not that, I don't know, even if today, if I had thrown into the same thing, probably I'll do the same mistake. Okay. If with all this experience, but not that knowledge, it's hard to, it's a bottom of the iceberg thingy. But the constraint, probably with all these years of experience, I will actually say, do you want to roll out an architecture significant requirement, right? I will ask a question. What's your long-term strategy? You're starting with Singapore, fine, but do you plan it to roll out to all the world? Okay. Do all of them use SharePoint? Is their user experiences better? Right? And it will be too generic and also hard to answer. If I'm lucky, I might get an answer, or I will still hit a bottom of the iceberg. But at least when I use a structure of ASR, I can ask these questions. And in one way, right? Like, let's say somebody answered, there is no problem there. Okay. And I hit a bottom of the iceberg. CYA is served. My ass is covered as an architect because I had captured it telling there was no requirement there, right? So in a way, it's not actually a surprise. Okay, now we are all in it together. Now as an architect, I have got everybody involved. Now nobody can say, you know what, this is not my problem. Architecture guys failed. Okay. So as an architect, I've still done my job. I've got everyone involved. So asking those architectural questions and the constraint in this case would have probably helped us prepare for the better. Now, interestingly, what happened? Classical problem, right? When they roll out, whose problem is it? Microsoft didn't do good architecture. They didn't do a good technical design. That's how we got. Then it became a tutu meme kind of a thing, right? So you're trying to prove you are right, it's not wrong. Gets messy. In short, I failed as an architect. Okay. So it's something like that. Does it answer your question about constraints?
Yeah. Yep.